You might as well file this particular video under news surprising no one at all that the North, or at least Northern Ireland's economy, is outperforming all of the other regions in the UK. Why? Because it is in the single market and customs union still. It is in a unique position where it can do that, even though people from the DUP and, of course, other leading Brexiteers are saying, oh no, the protocol isn't working. It's damaging the Northern Ireland. How dare shortbread biscuits damage peace in Northern Ireland, which is literally the point some of these Brexiteers are actually making, except they just don't even realize that is what they are saying when they say the Northern Ireland Protocol doesn't work. They are saying that shortbread following EU rules is somehow destroying the Northern Ireland Protocol, when it's not. It is the Brexiteers who themselves do not want the protocol to work, because you have an area of the UK that is in the single market and customs union, or at least in the single market, that works, that is outperforming the rest of the country. What does that say about your precious Brexit, what you've fought all this time for to try and get done and secure? What do? Well, you push as hard as you possibly can, or as fanatically as you can, to break the very thing you signed up to less than 2 years ago now at this point, to, quote, get Brexit done. So before we just go diving into this, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a rotation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel. So this comes from the Irish News, with the title of "Welcome for Official Figures Showing the North's Economy is Outperforming Britain." Official figures showing that the North's economy is outperforming England, Scotland, and Wales have been welcomed. The Office for National Statistics data published on Wednesday shows that the North of Ireland economy grew by at least 1.4% in the third quarter of the last year, and the corresponding figures show that growth in Scotland was 0.9%, while it was 0.6% in England, and of course minus 0.3% for Wales. Sinn Féin's Colin Aldibarch, I think that's Archibald, is that it? I think so, said the figures were evidence that the protocol was working and creating jobs, saying, "Our continued access to the single market as well as the British market has created opportunities for new investments and jobs," she said. "Those in the political unionism who continue to rail against the protocol are ignoring these opportunities for our manufacturers, our retailers, businesses, and workers." And East Derry MLA said that unionist parties who criticised the post-Brexit trade agreements were, quote, "ignoring these opportunities for our manufacturers, retailers, businesses, and workers, and businesses continue to call for the operation of the protocol to be made easier and for more focus on opportunities," saying, "We now need the British government to genuinely engage in negotiations to find solutions to provide certainty and stability for businesses and wider society here." Which is what the problem has been. Because the protocol is working, it makes it look embarrassing. The fact that the rest of the country, which you forcefully pulled out through lies and, well, sheer determinism to pull it out of the fanatical following of free market fundamentalism, that you did this, and yet Northern Ireland's economy is flourishing. And they don't want people to look at it and realize that that is the case, because if it is, it looks mighty embarrassing. Hence why not only you've got the DUP pushing to try and wreck the protocol, but also Brexiteers as well, because they know how embarrassing it looks, or how shall we say, good a case study it is for being in the single market. They don't want that, because if you realize that actually the UK is actually better in the single market, then other people will start to ask questions about, well, what about the other things that we left as well? Might it also be good to maybe rejoin those other things as well? The SDLP's Matthew O'Toole said that the data demonstrated that the protocol was, quote, "mitigating against the worst effects of Brexit. The protocol, although no one's first choice, must be worked if we are to see even greater economic benefits, he said. The South Belfast MLA said his party had published proposals for, quote, maximising the benefits of dual market access. The economy minister must finally start promoting our unique position rather than trying to destroy it, he said. It is only by politicians and parties collectively working together to promote these opportunities that the people of Northern Ireland can reap the rewards. And I fully agree. Yeah, of course. But this was always, I think, sort of bound to happen in some way, shape, or form. I think that's why, even going back to Theresa May's idea, that's why they were so desperate to stop it. Because if you've got Northern Ireland in like the backstop, as it was called back then for Theresa May's idea, but it became the front stop for Boris Johnson's oven-ready Brexit deal, bit embarrassing, these numbers. And I wouldn't surprise if these numbers are tracked and kept, and then of course they get brought up in Parliament. They go, hey, Brexiteers, why is Northern Ireland's economy performing so well when every other region is doing awful? What's that about? You know? And of course, just goes to show you how big a economic and political failure Brexit wasn't even born to be. It you know, the entire political project of Brexit was dead on arrival. They had no ideas or what to do beyond get Brexit done, or they might claim to do, but they really don't want to, should we say, publish the full thing, because if you've ever read Britannia Unchained or anything like that, you will see free market fundamentalism flowing freely. Let's just deregulate everything. Let's get rid of all regulations. You know, the government should be involved in no market regulation whatsoever. No subsidies, no nothing. That's their ideal perfect economy. The, quote, Singapore model. But as you may remember, just a few months ago now, we went over how actually Singapore is quite nationalistic when it comes to their own economy, how much how much the Singapore government actually owns of the economy, the businesses it owns, etc., etc. It's not what the Brexiteers actually make it out to be, but it's often what they like to call it because it sounds good. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.